Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha. Hello everyone. So someone asked, if the Nianfo Dharma gate already contains all Dharma gate, why some people still recite the name of Guanyin or other practices? Yes, it is true. The Nianfo Dharma gate contains all Dharma gates, one in all in one. But people have different preferences, and that's why the Buddha talk about 84,000 different Dharma gates. This is exactly to suit people with different preferences, capacities, and karma. So it's like we can get full by eating rice, but some people, they like pasta, they like noodles, they like pizza, etc. So the Buddha clearly understands the minds of the sentient beings. So that's why he opened so many different Dharma gates. And for people who have close karmic connection with Guanyin, Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, they can also recite the name of Guanyin. And they can also attain rebirth by reciting the name of Guanyin. This is also Guanyin's vow, because Guanyin is also Amitabha Buddha's major assistant. Guanyin's teacher is Amitabha Buddha. That's why she always wears her teacher on her crown to honor her teacher. So Guanyin also vowed to deliver sentient beings to the Pure Land. So you can also recite the name of Guanyin if you want to attain rebirth, because maybe you have such close connection with Namo Guanyin Pusa. And also Om Mani Padme Hum, by the Tibetan Buddhists, they recite Om Mani Padme Hum, the Guanyin's heart mantra, to attain rebirth in the Pure Land. So Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have all kinds of skillful means to deliver sentient beings to the Pure Land. For people who like things to be more complicated, there is also the Suragama mantra, super long and complicated, and all kinds of complicated dharanis for people who like things to be more complicated and more challenging. If you like things to be easy and simple, there is Nianfo to be mindful of the name of Amitabha Buddha. For people who recite the Suragama mantra and other complicated dharanis, they can also attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land, provided that they transfer the merit of their practices towards seeking rebirth in the Pure Land, and they also Nianfo. The Suragama mantra also talks about Amitabha Buddha. And some people say, my friend recite the name of Lotus Sutra, but he should really recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. So some people, they maybe have such close connection, and they love the Lotus Sutra so much, and they recite the name of the Lotus Sutra. If they have karmic connection with Amitabha Buddha, the Lotus Sutra also talk about Amitabha Buddha. And if they want to attain rebirth in the Pure Land, they can also, if they transfer the merit of their other practice towards attaining rebirth in the Pure Land, and they also Nianfo at the time of death, they can also attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So this is talked about in the Infinite Life Sutra, the paragraph after the 3 levels of rebirth. It talks about that for practitioners from other Mahayana path, if they transfer the merit of their other practices towards attaining rebirth in the Pure Land, and also they believe in Amitabha Buddha, they vow to attain rebirth in the Pure Land, and they Nianfo, they will also attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas really have all kinds of skillful means to deliver sentient beings with different preferences, capacities, and karma to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. In the Avatamsaka Sutra, the most complete teachings of Mahayana Buddhism, towards the end, the last chapter, the practices and vows of Bodhisattva Samadabhadra, it revealed to us that in fact all Dharma gates will eventually all lead to the Pure Land Dharma gate. All Dharma gates eventually will lead sentient beings to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. This is clearly revealed in the Avatamsaka Sutra. The Avatamsaka Sutra is the king of all sutras. All Dharma gates arise from the Avatamsaka Sutra, and all Dharma gates will eventually lead to Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. This is really indeed true. But for Pure Land practitioners, we just take the easiest, the most straightforward path. That's to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha with faith and vow towards being born in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. This resonates completely with Amitabha Buddha's fundamental vows. And Master Shanda, the second patriarch of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism and the actual founder of Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, he said that if we want to understand widely, we can read widely. But if we really want to practice, then best we should just choose one practice. In that way, it's much easier for us to go deep, to be single-minded, and this will ensure our success. If you're practicing at the same time different practices too much, then your mind can be quite scattered. Of course, unless you're maybe very intelligent and advanced, then your mind may not be scattered. But for a lot of people, best is just to focus on one practice. So this is a bit like if you want to go to Rome, you can look at a map. There are so many roads to Rome, every road to Rome. But if you are really to set yourself to Rome, you really want to go to Rome now, then you should just choose one path. So you can actually arrive in Rome. It's like to enter into a hall. There are many different gates. All different Dharma gates represent a gate for us to enter into the hall. But if we were really to enter into the hall, then we should just choose one practice. The practice that's the most suitable to you. And maybe the easiest. Just choose the gate that's next to you. The easiest for you to enter into the hall. You cannot simultaneously enter into the hall with two gates, right? So just choose the one method that's the easiest for you. And for Nianfo practitioners, we recommend single-mindedly recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, because this is the easiest, the most direct practice for us to enter into the hall, for us to arrive at our destination. But for people, they really I still like to practice this and practice that. So if you have the time and the capacities, occasionally you can maybe also learn different maybe mantras and dharanis, right? But never forget, always have your primary practice. So my primary practice is always Nianfo. Occasionally I also learn a little bit of other mantras and dharanis just to broaden my knowledge in Mahayana Buddhism, because I like to share the Dharma. So for me, it's important that I also know a bit more. But my primary practice is always Nianfo. Even if I learn other things, I still transfer the merit towards being reborn in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land. So my primary practice is always Nianfo. So Master Shanda, I recommend that we just single-mindedly Nianfo and transfer the merit towards being reborn in the Pure Land. This is the easiest, the fastest, and the most direct way for us to attain rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land and to realize enlightenment and realize the final Buddhahood in one lifetime. I hope this helps. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabhaya.